Imagine a world where a game of chess is a security threat, and owning an extra pair of socks is a serious crime. This isn't fiction, it's the daily reality of the American prison system. We're about to explore 48 real regulations that range from the utterly bizarre to the brutally effective. Your challenge is to tell the difference. As we go through the list, identify the rules you think are genuinely clever or necessary, and share your findings in the comments below. 1. Sharing your food with another inmate who has less than you seems like a basic act of human decency. In prison, it's a violation called unauthorized transfer of property. Giving someone a piece of your bread, a spare bar of soap, or a book you finished is strictly forbidden. The system assumes every transaction is a form of currency, a debt, or a gang-related power move. It's a world that actively punishes kindness and criminalizes compassion. 2. In high-security prisons, the simple act of staying physically fit is a violation. Inmates are often forbidden from exercising in their cells. A set of push-ups or crunches can be interpreted by a guard as training for an assault and lead to a disciplinary report. The system locks you in a tiny concrete box for 23 hours a day and then punishes you for trying to fight off the inevitable physical and mental decay. It's a perfect vicious circle of control. 3. Your favorite color can be a crime. In many prisons, wearing certain colors, especially red or blue, is strictly forbidden to prevent any visual association with gangs. This policy creates a bizarre, high-stakes fashion police state. You might have picked that blue bandana because it's the only clean one you have, but in the eyes of the institution, you're not just getting dressed. You're making a statement of allegiance. Your laundry day choices are now considered potential evidence of a conspiracy. 4. Getting a letter from home means it first has to survive a paranoid gauntlet. The no stains rule is a killer. A single, errant teardrop from your mother that smudges the ink? Rejected. A tiny grease spot from your kid's pizza night on the envelope? Rejected. Guards are trained to see these imperfections not as signs of life, but as potential chemical agents or coded messages from a drug cartel. It's a policy that treats the beautiful, messy evidence of human connection as a biohazard. 5. A no-contact visit is a masterclass in psychological torture. Your child is sitting right there, feet away, but separated by a wall of cold, smudged plexiglass. You don't get a hug. You get a cheap, crackling phone receiver to hear their voice. You watch them press their hand against the glass and you trace its outline on your side. It's a meticulously designed system to allow sight but forbid solace, like showing a picture of a feast to a starving man. 6. In many prisons, you're allowed to have a maximum of 5 personal photos. 5. That's not a rule. It's a heart-wrenching math problem. When your daughter sends you a new picture of your first grandchild, who gets evicted from the wall? Your wife? Your own mother? You are forced to literally rank your loved ones, to weaponize your own memories and turn the people you cherish into a zero-sum game. Who do you erase to make room for new love? 7. Forget care packages. In prison, the umbilical cord to home is severed by policy. Your family cannot send you anything. Not a pair of warmer socks, not your favorite snack, not a birthday card with $5 tucked inside. Every single item you possess must be purchased from the prison's own wildly overpriced catalog. It's not just about stopping contraband. It's about erasing the outside world and replacing every gesture of love with a transaction. 8. Inside the walls, the humble postage stamp is treated with the same seriousness as live ammunition. Inmates are often limited to owning a specific number, say 10. If a guard tosses your cell and finds an 11th stamp tucked inside a book, you can be written up for hoarding. It's a level of paranoia where the potential to communicate is seen as a weapon. You become a criminal mastermind of correspondence, a felonious philatelist, guilty of the high crime of wanting to write one too many letters home. 9. There is no such thing as a bathroom door in many parts of a prison. Instead, there's a cold, steel bowl welded to the wall in plain sight of guards and other inmates. This is not a budget cut. it's an architectural power move. It is a constant, unspoken declaration from the institution. There is no part of your existence, not even the most fundamentally private, that we do not own and observe. Privacy is not a right, it's a memory. 10. Want to read a book? First, it must survive the literary judgment of a prison censor, which is where common sense goes to die. The banned book lists are a masterwork of absurdity. A Pulitzer-winning novel about the human spirit might get blacklisted for its challenging themes, while a book of classic love poems could be deemed a threat to security. Yet, somehow, manuals detailing ancient siege warfare or manifestos filled with violent, divisive ideologies can sail right through. It paints a crystal-clear picture. The system isn't really afraid of books that describe violence. It's terrified of books that inspire empathy. 11. The idea of medical privacy is a joke in prison. When you need to see a nurse, that conversation often happens in an open, crowded area, with a dozen other inmates listening to every word. You're forced to describe your most sensitive, personal health issues as if you're announcing it over a loudspeaker. It's a deliberate ritual of humiliation, a system designed to remind you that your body is no longer your own property. Its secrets, its pains, and its problems all belong to the state now. 12. The prison system loves to talk about rehabilitation. Then it makes rules that render it nearly impossible. Inmates who want to pursue a college degree are usually denied any form of internet access. They are told to prepare for life in the 21st century by using research methods from 1985. It's like teaching someone to be a pilot, but refusing to let them see an airplane. The rule doesn't just hinder education, it preserves the massive, almost insurmountable gap between life inside and the world they're supposed to one day rejoin. 13. You'd think a game of pure strategy like chess would be encouraged. You'd be dead wrong. In many facilities, chess is considered contraband. The administration isn't worried about inmates stabbing each other with a pointy bishop. They seem to be worried about the inmates' thinking. The game is treated like a tactical simulation for a prison break. Meanwhile, checkers is usually perfectly fine. Apparently, the intellectual firepower required to king a piece is considered a manageable security risk. 14. Want to send a birthday card to an inmate? It must first be stripped of everything that makes it a celebration. Prison mailrooms have a zero-tolerance policy for joy. No glitter, no stickers, no pop-up elements, no ribbons, and absolutely nothing that plays a tinny happy birthday tune. The fear is that a single piece of confetti could be a microdot of contraband. What finally arrives is a flat, lifeless piece of cardstock that has all the emotional warmth of a court summons. 15. Personal hygiene in prison is a lesson in calculated misery. The items available from the commissary are engineered to be just barely functional. The deodorant is a weak, waxy stick that seems to quit by mid-morning. The state-issued toilet paper is a single-ply parchment that's more abrasive than absorbent. The soap is a small, harsh brick that smells like a chemical spill. It's not about saving money. It's about using the senses as another form of control, a constant physical reminder of your lowly status. 16. In prison, your shoes are chosen for you, and the rules are a masterpiece of paranoia. Velcro straps? Banned, because they could be used as restraints. All black sneakers? Banned, because they might be a gang color. This process of elimination leaves inmates with only one option: a pair of bizarre, off-brand, multicolored monstrosities that look like a clown shoe had a tragic accident. It's a subtle but powerful message. Your sentence includes the complete annihilation of your personal style. 17. In most prisons, physical contact between inmates is completely forbidden. This rule isn't just about preventing violence. It's about erasing humanity. A handshake of congratulations, a consoling pat on the shoulder, a hug between old friends, all are serious violations. Every gesture of basic human connection is viewed through a lens of suspicion, interpreted as a precursor to a riot or a sexual act. It's a policy designed to create profound physical isolation, turning a crowded facility into a building full of lonely ghosts. 18. The dress code in many prisons has one rule that rises above all others in its petty insistence on control. Your shirt must be tucked in, at all times. When you are outside your cell, walking the yard, or eating a meal, your shirt must present a neat, unbroken line into your waistband. It's justified as a way to prevent concealed weapons, but the true purpose is psychological. It's a nagging, constant reminder that the institution's authority is so absolute, it governs the very silhouette of your body. 19. State-issued prison uniforms are notoriously ill-fitting, but inmates are strictly forbidden from making any alterations. Hemming a pair of pants that drags on the floor or taking in a shirt that fits like a tent is a punishable offense. This isn't about laziness, it's about enforcing conformity. A well-fitting garment is a small source of dignity and individuality, and in prison, dignity is the most dangerous contraband of all. The goal is to create a sea of identical, shapeless figures, erasing the individual entirely. 20. We now turn to the magnum opus of a particularly theatrical Arizona sheriff. For years, male inmates in his county were forced to wear bright pink underwear. The official reason was that it prevented theft and was easy to spot. The real reason, understood by everyone, was that it was an act of pure, calculated humiliation. The plan backfired spectacularly. The pink boxers became a symbol of defiance, and once released were sold online as a bizarre collector's item. You cannot invent a better metaphor for a failed power trip. 21. In prison, getting sick comes with a service fee. Most systems charge inmates a copay for any medical visit, usually $2 to $5. That sounds like nothing, until you remember the average inmate earns about $15 a month. That copay isn't a minor expense, it's a significant portion of their entire net worth. This policy creates a brutal choice. Do you buy soap and a stamp this week, or do you find out why you've been coughing up blood? Health isn't a right, it's a commodity you might not be able to afford. 22. In dozens of prisons, you can be thrown into solitary confinement for playing Dungeons & Dragons. The official justification is that organizing a game constitutes gang-related activity. They're picturing a turf war between the half-elf paladins and the dwarven clerics, fought with 20-sided dice. They also claim it promotes escapism, which in a maximum security prison is a bit like writing someone up for being wet in a swimming pool. It's a policy that genuinely suggests a nerd with a character sheet is a greater threat than a hardened killer. 23. On the outside, saving an apple from your lunch to eat later is called planning. In prison, it's a punishable offense called hoarding. Guards will confiscate that piece of fruit and write you a disciplinary report. The official logic is that saved food can fuel an underground economy or be used to make pruno. But the real effect is to punish one of the most basic human survival instincts, the desire to set aside a small comfort for the future. In prison, even thinking ahead is a crime. 24. If you're an inmate assigned to work in the kitchen, your shift ends with a unique form of gratitude. After hours spent preparing meals with ingredients like sugar, fruit, or yeast, you are often subjected to a full strip search before returning to your cell. The institutional paranoia is so high that they believe you might be smuggling the building blocks of prison wine in your body cavities. It's a disgusting, humiliating reward for the simple act of feeding your fellow prisoners. 25. Inmates are the unsung pioneers of minimalist cuisine. Their signature dish is the spread, a forbidden feast cooked inside a plastic trash bag using hot tap water. The ingredients? A brick of crushed ramen, a crumbled-up sausage, a handful of spicy chips for texture, and maybe a squeeze of ketchup for acidity. This desperate act of culinary creation is, of course, a crime. The official charge is unauthorized food preparation, which is the system's way of saying that any attempt to create joy or flavor from misery is an act of rebellion. 26. You know about pruno, that foul-smelling cocktail of fermented fruit and regret brewed in a toilet. But the real art form isn't the brewing, it's the punishment. When you're caught, the charge isn't just contraband. In a stroke of soul-crushing bureaucratic genius, federal prisons classify it as possession of a hazardous tool. Let that sink in. Your sad bag of fermented mush is legally equated with a sharpened shank. It's a world where bad home brewing is considered a prelude to a riot. 27. In the soul-crushing quiet of a prison, a moment of personal happiness is often considered a public nuisance. Inmates can be formally punished for whistling a tune or quietly singing to themselves under the charge of creating a disturbance. It doesn't matter if you're humming a pop song or an old hymn. If a guard is in a bad mood, your joy is a violation. It is a place where even the sound of your own contentment is considered contraband. 28. Despite America being a nation of immigrants, many prisons enforce a strict English-only rule. The stated reason is security. Guards need to understand what inmates are saying. But the practical effect is the forced isolation of anyone whose native language is Spanish, or Navajo, or anything else. Imagine being locked away, terrified, and then being told that the very language you use to pray or think is now considered a security threat. It's a rule that imprisons your culture right alongside your body. 29. An inmate's desire to make art is treated as a potential security breach. Art supplies are governed by a web of bizarre restrictions. Red ink of any kind is often banned because it could be mistaken for blood. Certain drawing pencils are forbidden because they could be sharpened into a weapon. The institution isn't just trying to control your actions, it's trying to control your imagination. The message is clear. Creativity itself is a dangerous form of contraband. 30. In America's supermax prisons, one of the most basic forms of human interaction is a punishable offense. Inmates are strictly forbidden from making direct eye contact with guards. It's a written rule. A direct gaze is interpreted as a challenge, an act of defiance that can land you in trouble immediately. It is a tactic of psychological warfare designed to systematically break a person down by making a simple human connection a forbidden act. 31. Forget the US dollar. In the parallel economy of the American prison system, the gold standard is a 59-cent brick of instant ramen noodles. After smoking bans wiped out the value of cigarettes, soups became the universal currency. You can use them to buy a clean t-shirt, pay off a gambling debt, or hire another inmate to do your laundry. It's the only place on earth where a man with a locker full of Maruchan beef has more financial power than a Wall Street banker. 32. The institutional paranoia in prison extends all the way to your morning routine. In many facilities, inmates can only possess toothpaste that comes in a completely clear, transparent tube. An opaque tube is a serious violation. The logic is that you could hide contraband inside the plastic casing. It's a level of suspicion so profound that it turns the simple act of brushing your teeth into a daily reminder of your status. We don't trust you, not even with your crest. 33. Prisons operate as bizarre, hyper-specific fashion police states, and the primary focus is facial hair. In one prison, a mustache is allowed, but a beard is a violation. In the facility next door, a beard is fine, but only if it's trimmed to exactly 1/4 of an inch. It's not about security, it's about creating a universe of arbitrary, pointless rules. It proves that the system's power is so absolute, it can control you down to the very last follicle on your chin. 34. In the tightly controlled universe of a prison, silence isn't just golden, it's mandatory. During designated quiet hours, inmates are forbidden from speaking above a whisper. Flushing a toilet with too much force or having a loud coughing fit can earn you a disciplinary report. It's an unnatural, enforced stillness that transforms a building holding hundreds of people into a library of ghosts. The message is clear. Your voice, like your freedom, is a privilege that can be revoked for making too much noise. 35. Prison tattooing is a testament to human ingenuity. The machine is a jury-rigged marvel, often built from a stolen motor, a sharpened guitar string for a needle, and ink made from melted plastic and shampoo. But the punishment is where the cruelty gets creative. If you're caught, you don't just get solitary confinement. The prison will often force you to pay for the medical procedure to have your illicit artwork surgically removed. They literally charge you to erase the one thing you created to feel human. 36. Every single item in an inmate's cell is governed by the rule of authorized possession. You are given a meticulous list of what you can own and the exact quantity. You might be allowed 2 t-shirts, 1 book, and 5 photographs. If a surprise inspection reveals a 3rd t-shirt, it's contraband. This isn't about security. It's about creating a world where owning 1 extra piece of clothing is a criminal act, a place so deprived that a spare pair of socks becomes a symbol of illicit wealth. 37. Meet the spork, an insult cast in flimsy plastic. In prison, it's your only utensil, and it is spectacularly bad at everything. Its tines are so feeble they surrender to a boiled carrot, and its spoon is so comically shallow it mocks the very concept of soup. Each meal becomes a tiny, infuriating struggle. The spork isn't a tool for eating. It's a daily, tangible reminder of your complete and utter powerlessness, a monument to the idea that you can't even be trusted with a functional fork. 38. If a loved one mails you a photograph, it better be a modern print. The classic Polaroid instant photo is almost universally banned in prison mailrooms. The institutional paranoia runs so deep that the thick, chemical-packed backing of a Polaroid is seen as the perfect smuggling vessel for contraband. It's a world where the very technology of a happy memory is viewed as a potential Trojan horse, and a smiling family portrait is treated like a ticking time bomb. 39. Inmates don't pass notes. They fly kites, tiny, intricately folded messages that travel on a network of pure nerve. Getting caught with one is a serious offense, and the content is almost irrelevant. It could be a detailed escape plan or an invitation to a secret Dungeons & Dragons game. It doesn't matter. The act of unauthorized communication itself is the crime. In prison, every folded piece of paper is a potential conspiracy, and every whisper is a potential riot. 40. There's a rule in some prisons that sounds like a joke but is deadly serious. The no hollow objects rule. This extends into the culinary realm with tragic consequences. Any pasta with a hole in it, like macaroni or penne, is considered contraband. Guards are trained to see a single piece of ziti not as part of a meal, but as a potential tiny smuggling container. Your plan to hide a secret message inside a noodle has been foiled, and your punishment is a lifetime of limp, lifeless spaghetti. 41. The small window on a cell door serves one purpose: for guards to look in. You are strictly forbidden from covering it, even for a second. Hanging a towel to change your clothes or taping up a piece of paper for a moment of privacy is a major infraction that will bring guards running to your door. It is the architectural embodiment of total surveillance. Your life is an open book, and the system makes sure you're not even allowed to turn the page. 42. In many facilities, you are not allowed to know the full names of the guards who have total control over your existence. They are identified only by their last initial and a badge number. This isn't about efficiency, it's a tactic of power. It renders them anonymous, unaccountable agents of the state. You can't file a misconduct report against Officer Johnson if all you know him as is Officer J. It's a meta rule designed to protect the enforcers by making them nameless, interchangeable cogs in the machine. 43. Religious freedom is a constitutional right, but in prison, it has to pass a security screening first. While common practices are usually accommodated, requests for anything unusual are often denied. An inmate might ask for ceremonial oils for a ritual, only to be told they could be used to make a weapon slippery. A request for a Native American sweat lodge ceremony could be denied as a potential cover for an escape attempt. Your path to enlightenment is officially subordinate to the warden's paranoia. 44. In prison, your personal space is not yours. It's replaced by a sentient, invisible wall known as the 3-foot rule. This rule requires inmates to maintain a constant buffer zone around all staff. It turns every crowded corridor into a high-stakes ballet of avoidance. An accidental shoulder brush in a narrow passage isn't an "excuse me" moment. It's a potential formal charge for assaulting an officer. It's a system designed to make you terrified of your own shadow in a space where shadows are all you have. 45. Access to sunlight and fresh air is not a guarantee. It's a carefully worded technicality. In many supermax prisons, an inmate's daily outdoor recreation is spent alone in a high-walled concrete cage, often called a dog run. It might be open to the sky, but there is no horizon, no grass, no view of anything but concrete and steel. It's a perfect loophole, providing sunlight without a shred of the feeling of being outside. You can see the sky, but you cannot feel the world. 46. In the outside world, getting a job helps you get ahead. In some prison systems, it just helps you pay for your own punishment. The practice is called pay to stay, where inmates are charged a daily fee for room and board. So if you land a prison job that pays 20 cents an hour, a huge chunk of that is immediately garnished to cover the cost of your own incarceration. It's a perfectly closed, self-funding loop of misery where your own labor pays for your own cage. 47. The final bureaucratic insult often arrives after an inmate has already died. In many jurisdictions, the family of a deceased prisoner is sent a bill for the expenses related to their death. This can include transportation of the body and administrative fees. Imagine grieving a family member, only to receive an itemized invoice from the very institution that held them captive. It is the system's last cold reminder that until the very end, everything has a price tag. 48. Several times a day, and always at least once in the dead of night, the entire prison grinds to a halt for count. An alarm sounds, and every inmate must stand in their cell, silent and visible, while guards slowly walk the tiers and count every single body. The process can take hours. Moving, speaking, or even lying in your bunk can get you punished. The count isn't just about security, it's a recurring ritual of power, a system-wide reboot that reminds everyone who is truly in control. So, a system of total control built on a foundation of pure absurdity. It's easy to label all 48 of these rules as pointlessly cruel. But is that the entire story? I have a challenge for you. Look back through this list and find the one rule that you believe is genuinely justified and absolutely necessary for a prison to function. Defend your choice in the comments below. If you want more deep dives into these hidden systems, show your support with a like and subscribe.